So imagine losing your entire wallet while you're traveling overseas.
No, it's a nightmare.
Right. Every single piece of ID, all your cash, your bank cards, just gone.
Yep, absolute panic mode.
And to make it worse, you have a really common last name.
Yeah.
And because you've been living abroad for a while, you have absolutely no publicly listed phone number back home.
So they couldn't even look you up in a phone book if they tried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the logical odds of getting that wallet back are practically zero. Most of us would completely spiral. But today, we're actually looking at a case study where a lost wallet didn't just come back. It seemingly manipulated a SARMer, a directory operator, and honestly, the laws of mathematical probability to find its way home.
It's wild. And the crazy part is the primary tool used to make that happen wasn't, filing a police report. It was a to-do list.
A to-do list, which totally shatters how we usually think about problem solving. I mean, we're so conditioned to believe that intense, stressful action is the only way to resolve a crisis.
Right, that you have to just grind through the stress.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this right now and you're mentally calculating how you're going to finish your impossible work tasks, pick up the kids, and, I don't know, somehow fix that leaking pipe under the sink before dinner, then this deep dive is specifically for you.
We are dismantling that feeling of being completely crushed by your day.
Exactly. Our source material today is Practice 18, which is titled The Magical To-Do List. It's his core chapter from Rhonda Byrne's book, The Magic.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating read.
It really is. We're going to unpack how this text suggests taking something we usually just dismiss as a soft, pleasant emotion, gratitude, and weaponizing it, like turning it into an active, aggressive tool to handle daily chaos.
In that premise, it requires a pretty radical rebranding of what gratitude even is. The author literally describes gratitude as your best friend.
Right, but not in
a passive way, not like a greeting card. The text frames it as this concrete, ever-present resource that you're supposed to lean on heavily when things are just falling apart.
Because the way we normally experience standard gratitude is very reactive. It's like a thank you card. You receive a gift or something lucky happens, and then you send the thank you card after the fact.
Right, after the problem is already solved.
Exactly. But the framing in this chapter flips that completely. It treats gratitude more like a life raft or like an emergency contact that you call during the crisis, not after.
And that shift, moving from a passive reaction to an active support system, it's monumental for our psychology.
Oh, totally.
Because when you look at the examples the book uses, like feeling utterly frazzled, taking care of kids with zero support, or being locked in this personal dispute that's rapidly deteriorating.
Or just the sheer exhaustion of trying to find a decent doctor and hitting dead ends.
Yeah, exactly. The unifying theme of all those experiences is helplessness. Your brain perceives a threat, realizes it doesn't have the resources to fight it, and just shuts down into this state of victimhood.
You just freeze. I mean, your chest gets tight, and you feel like a victim of your own schedule.
We've all been there. But by deploying gratitude as this best friend or this emergency contact, the text claims you actively shift out of that helpless state.
Because you're taking action.
Yes. You are no longer waiting for the environment to save you. You are grabbing a tool and stepping into a state of empowerment, which fundamentally changes your cognitive approach to the hurdle right in front of you.
Okay, framing gratitude as a life raft sounds incredible in theory. But let's get granular here.
Let's do it.
Because when I am literally staring at a broken washing machine, a past due bill, and an inbox with like 400 unread emails, just feeling warm and fuzzy isn't going to fix my plumbing,
No, it won't physically fix the pipe.
Right. So how does a person actually deploy this when they're staring down a massive list of chores?
Well, that brings us to the specific methodology of Practice 18, the 3-step magical to-do list process. The author designed this specifically to bridge the gap between abstract theory and the messy reality of your Monday morning.
And step 1 is surprisingly cathartic, actually. You literally write a physical list, and you title it The Magical To-Do List.
Pen and paper, yeah.
Yeah, and you are instructed to include the most important things you need done or resolved. But, and I love this part, you also include the things you simply do not have the time or the desire to do.
Right, you just dump it all out.
It's a complete brain dump. Minor annoyances, massive life situations, put it all on the paper.
Which serves a very specific practical function. In psychology, there is a concept called the Zeigarnik effect.
The Zeigarnik effect.
Yeah, it essentially means our brains get fixated on incomplete tasks.
Oh, right. Like when you can't remember the name of an actor and it bothers you all day.
Exactly. So by dumping every single unresolved issue onto paper, you are closing those open loops in your mind. You are gathering all the ambient chaos into one designated, manageable space.
Okay, that makes sense. Then we have step 2. You look at this massive, totally intimidating list, and you choose exactly 3 items to focus on for that day. Just 3.
And limiting the focus is vital. When we are overwhelmed, we try to solve 20 things at once, and, well, we end up solving absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you just spin your wheels.
Right. So forcing a choice of 3 isolates the most critical stress points.
And then step 3 is where the actual magic supposedly happens.
This is the core of it.
You spend at least 1 minute on each of those 3 items. You close your eyes, and you visualize that the problem has been miraculously solved for you, completely sorted.
But no loose ends.
Right. And in response to that vivid visualization, you generate and feel enormous, massive gratitude.
You are instructing your mind and body to genuinely feel the relief of the resolution, as if it has already occurred in real time.
I have to play the skeptic here, though, because this is where my own logic trips me up a bit.
Go for it.
If I just sit there and imagine my taxes are magically filed, or that a bitter family dispute is just suddenly resolved without any tough conversations, isn't that just delusion?
I hear that a lot, actually.
Like it feels like burying my head in the sand while the house burns down around me.
And that reaction is exactly why the author put such a strict guardrail on this specific step. The text explicitly states that it is not your job to figure out how the problem will be resolved.
It's not my job.
Right. If you sit down and start worrying about the logistics of how those taxes will actually get filed, wondering who to call, what forms to fill out, you have instantly shifted your focus back to the obstacle.
Oh, I see.
You've fallen right back into the panic. The psychological shift the text demands is to obsessively focus on the resolution itself.
So by forcing myself to drop the how, I'm actually dropping the cognitive load that causes the panic in the first place. I stop trying to, micromanage the universe.
Beautifully put, yes. The job, according to the book, is purely to practice the feeling of relief. You are holding the emotional state of the end result.
Okay, I get the relief part. But that still leaves the physical problem unsolved in the real world. If it is genuinely not my job to figure out how the problem gets solved, what is actually doing the heavy lifting? How does the book claim the solution arrives?
The underlying mechanism driving this entire practice is the law of attraction, the principle that like attracts like. The author argues that focusing intensely on a problem simply acts as a magnet for more problems.
Which feels very true.
Yeah. If you are vibrating with the stress of not having enough time, the universe will literally supply you with more circumstances that drain your time.
It makes me think of tuning an old-school radio dial. Like if you are frantically turning the knob and you land on the panic frequency, the only broadcast you can physically receive through those speakers is panic.
That's a great way to look at it.
But if you take a breath, use this visualization practice, and force your dial onto the already solved frequency, suddenly you are capable of catching the signal for the solution. You are tuned to an entirely different broadcast.
The radio analogy is perfect for understanding the internal shift, but we also have to recognize the profound external implications of the theory the book is proposing here.
Right, because it goes further than just mindset.
Much further. The author claims that when you combine the power of gratitude with the law of attraction, people, circumstances, and events must be rearranged to do what you want done.
Must be rearranged. That is not just a shift in attitude. That is a massive claim about physics and reality.
It really is. It's claiming that your internal emotional state, specifically the intensity of your gratitude and belief, directly manipulate external physical reality.
Wow.
It suggests your internal frequency acts as a literal magnet, rearranging the actions of other people in the sequence of external events to deliver the solution right to your doorstep.
I mean, if I'm a listener applying this to my own chaotic life, a claim that massive requires some concrete proof, I need to know what rearranging reality actually looks like. Which brings us back to the incredible case study we teased at the very beginning.
The impossible wallet.
Yes, the impossible wallet.
The author provides this real-life narrative involving her own daughter to demonstrate exactly how the how is taken care of by the universe.
So, the daughter goes out one night, and the next morning she realizes her wallet is completely gone. She doesn't know if she dropped it or if it was stolen.
And she does all the normal stuff, right?
Yeah, she does the logical troubleshooting. She calls the restaurant, the taxi company, the police station, knocks on doors, searches the streets. She gets absolutely zero.
We have to look at the specific compounding obstacles here because they are what make the resolution so statistically baffling.
Let's lay them out.
First, she is overseas. Second, she has a very common surname. Third, every single piece of identifying information and financial access is inside that wallet.
The worst case scenario.
And the most critical barrier. Because she had been living abroad for an extended period, she had no publicly listed phone number back in her home country.
So whoever finds this wallet has no logical earthly way of contacting her. It's a total dead end. But instead of spiraling into the panic we talked about earlier, the daughter isolates this problem and uses the practice.
She puts it on the to-do list.
Exactly. She sits down, closes her eyes, and visualizes holding the wallet in her hands. She imagines opening it up, seeing all her cards and cash untouched. And she forces her body to feel the massive elation and gratitude of that moment.
And she doesn't just do it once.
Right. She maintains that specific frequency throughout the entire day.
She essentially turns herself into the solution magnet. And the sequence of events that unfolds next is what the book points to as the universe literally rearranging itself.
So later that night, the daughter gets a phone call. It's a farmer who lives 100 miles away, telling her he has her wallet.
Which is crazy. The fact that he found it is lucky, but how he managed to contact her is where the theory really kicks in.
Yeah, because the farmer had found the wallet in the street outside the daughter's home in the early hours of the morning. He's a good guy, so he immediately searches it for contact details.
Right.
He makes several calls trying to track down the owner, but he hits the exact same dead ends we just listed. He fails. Logically, he gives up, puts it away, and drives the full 100 miles back to his farm.
At that specific moment, reason and logic dictate the wallet is gone for good. The trail is completely cold.
But later that day, while the farmer is out walking in his fields, he says the wallet kept nagging and nagging at him. Like, he couldn't shake the thought of it.
Let's pause on that nagging feeling for a second. If we view this through the lens of the law of attraction, that nagging isn't just a random intrusive thought.
It's the magnet.
Exactly. According to the text, that feeling is the physical manifestation of the daughter's intense visualization. Her gratitude was exerting a magnetic pull across 100 miles, essentially forcing the farmer to stop what he was doing and engage with the problem again.
So he is compelled to search through it one last time. And tucked away in some hidden corner of the wallet, he finds a tiny scrap of paper with a man's Christian name written on it. Just a first name. No phone number, no context.
And the farmer decides to combine that random first name with the daughter's common surname.
He calls directory assistance with this completely random combination of names. Out of the millions of records, there is exactly one listing that matches. He calls the number, and it turns out to be the home of the daughter's father.
Unbelievable.
The wallet is saved. But here is the detail that absolutely breaks my brain.
I love this part.
To this day, the family has no idea how the directory operator actually gave the farmer that phone number because the father's number was entirely unlisted.
And the source material is very careful to note that the family even called directory assistants themselves afterward to test the system.
They called several times, and every single time they asked for that name, the operator told them, sorry, there is no listing for that name.
The operator giving out an unlisted number shouldn't happen. It's a breach of protocol, or a glitch in the database, or just a statistical impossibility.
So against totally impossible odds, pulled from 100 miles away, utilizing an unlisted number that shouldn't exist in the system, the wallet was returned completely intact. It's the ultimate demonstration of what the book means when it says the universe will rearrange events, people, and circumstances to deliver the resolution.
The daughter didn't have to know how to hack a directory database.
No.
She just had to hold the frequency of gratitude. It fundamentally illustrates the core promise of Practice 18. You handle the visualization and the gratitude, and the external world handles the complex, invisible logistics.
So bringing this back to listener, we understand the theory gratitude as the active best friend. We know the three-step magical to-do list practice. And we've seen the seemingly impossible proof with the wallet.
Right.
But, I mean, human nature is stubborn. If I just do this one time today when I'm stressed, I am inevitably going to forget all about it by tomorrow afternoon when my boss yells at me.
Oh, absolutely.
So how does a person implement this so they don't just slide back into panic mode?
The text accounts for human nature by ensuring the magical to-do list doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is actually designed to be sandwiched between two other daily foundational practices that create a permanent ecosystem of gratitude.
It's like an entire architecture for your day. Because in the morning, the very first thing you do is a practice called Count Your Blessings. You sit down and make a list of 10 distinct blessings in your life.
You can't just list them.
Right. You have to write down exactly why you are grateful for each one. Then you reread the list, and after each item, you say the phrase, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Think about the psychological impact of that. Before you have even looked at your emails or engaged with the stress of the day, you are deliberately setting your baseline frequency.
You're priming the pump.
Yeah, you are priming your brain to scan the environment for positive inputs.
And then on the other end of the day, just before you go to sleep, there is the magic rock practice. You keep a specific rock by your bed, you hold it in your hand, and you force yourself to review your entire day to find the absolute best thing that happened.
Out of everything.
Yeah, and once you isolate that single best moment, you say thank you for it.
Which is incredibly strategic. It ensures your final waking thought, right as your brain is slipping into the subconscious processing of sleep, is anchored in profound appreciation rather than anxiety about tomorrow's chores.
When you look at it from a bird's eye view, it is a highly structured productivity and mindset system. Bookending your day with those 10 blessings in the morning and the magic rock at night creates a secure container.
A gratitude sandwich.
Yes, and your stressful, chaotic, magical to-do list practice sits perfectly inside that container, supported on both sides.
It creates a constant, unavoidable momentum. By starting the day actively searching for things to be grateful for and ending it by isolating the single best victory, you are fundamentally retraining your brain's default state. You are permanently taping the radio dial to the solution frequency, ensuring you remain a magnet for resolutions all day long.
Wow. We have covered massive ground today. We've moved from viewing gratitude as a polite afterthought, a simple thank you card, to deploying it as an active emergency contact that you call on to solve your most stressful bottlenecks.
It's a huge shift.
By dumping your chaos onto a magical to-do list, choosing just 3 items, visualizing them as perfectly resolved for 1 minute each, and letting go of the how, the text claims we can allow the law of attraction to rearrange the universe on our behalf, just like it did for the farmer and the impossible wallet.
It is a radically different paradigm for conquering overwhelm. And while the source text firmly insists that this practice relies on metaphysical laws to manipulate external reality, examining it purely from a psychological standpoint offers an equally thrilling perspective.
Because even if you remove the magic, the results might look exactly the same. What if the real miracle of becoming a solution magnet isn't about bending the physical universe to your will?
Right.
What if, by obsessively practicing this level of intense gratitude and visualizing solutions, you are actively rewiring the neural pathways in your own brain?
Exactly. When we are locked in a state of panic, our peripheral vision, both literal and metaphorical, it narrows. We become blind to anything that isn't the immediate threat.
Survival mode.
Yeah. By retraining your baseline frequency with these daily practices, you might simply be training yourself to finally notice the solutions, the helpful people, and the hidden opportunities that were actually surrounding you the entire time.
The answers were always sitting right there in the room with you, but the panic made them invisible. You finally take off the blindfold.
It's a powerful thought to leave with.
I absolutely love that perspective. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. If you are feeling crushed by your schedule today, I highly encourage you to write out that list, pick your 3 biggest stressors, and see what happens when you apply a little bit of magic. We will see you next time.